Hello and welcome to another C3 Stingray video. Today we're going to take this urethane bumper cover off this 1977 Corvette. The 75 through 79 Corvette bumper covers are all the same. The 73 to 74 are a little different, and the 80 to 82 are a little different, but they all pretty much follow the same procedure. And this is a step-by-step procedure on how to take this bumper cover off. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do, and hit that like button and notification button and all those buttons, and let's just jump into the video. Here's the bumper cover on the car. Really, tool-wise, all you need is a 3/8 inch deep socket, maybe a ratchet wrench and a regular wrench, and a Phillips screwdriver, and you pretty much got everything you need to take this off. You need to have your headlights up. I don't have any power or anything, so I'm just underneath pushing the headlight up. If you grab that little arm and push on it, it pushes up and locks into place. Now with them up, here's 4 screws in the headlight bezel that need to be removed. There's 1 on each side, and there's 2 on the top. Now this one's missing 1 of the screws, but there should be 2 on the top holding that bezel in. Once you get those out, it slips right out. Now I'm going to do the passenger side. We'll speed this up a little bit. And there's 1 on each side, 2 on the top, and slip that bezel out. Now we're heading to the license plate area. There are 6 3/8 inch bolts in this, and all 6 of those need to be removed. Now we're going to start on the bumper cover. You can see you can gain access to a lot of the nuts through the headlight. That was the reason why we took those bezels off. And we're going to do 2 on each side that are easily accessible. Here it is, the back of the bumper cover, and you can see the ones we're going for. I'm using a 1/4 inch deep 3/8 inch socket. And it's tough to get your hand in there, but it's not impossible. You can work it in there pretty easy. And you're going to find that these break really easily. Most of these studs will just break right off. In fact, I think there's only a couple that didn't break on this whole project. But it doesn't matter because you can replace that retainer. And as you can see, that's the first one that broke off. Kind of speed this up for the second one. And that one broke off really quick. We're going to the passenger side and getting these 2. I sped this up really fast because this is one of the few that I actually had to ratchet all the way off. And it took me forever to get this off, and it fell. After all that ratcheting, I dropped it on the floor. But here's the nut. Here's one of the few that actually came off without breaking the stud. Now you're going to need to crawl under the car to get to the valance. And I'm showing this nice valance that I got a picture of just to show you what it should look like. And mine, which is kind of in disarray to say the least. There are 6 screws in the front that attach to the bumper. There's 2 more in the center there, and there's 3 on each side. And there's more screws that are, as you can see, there's no screws there across the back, but those actually attach to a spoiler that is now missing. But you're just going to want to get these out so you can remove this valance. It'll give you better access. Well, like I said, the 6 in the front are actually attached to the bumper, so they have to be removed. Well, removing this whole valance will just give you better access to all the nuts that you're going to have to take off on this bumper. And there's a shot of it off the car, as you can see where all the bolts went and the big chunk missing from the center. Alright, now we're going to work on the 2 center nuts. And I'm going under again and the only way you're able to access these are from underneath. And here's a shot of the two nuts we're looking to get off, and you can see how rusty it is under here. It's really rusty. But here's the back side of the bumper cover, and you can see the two that we're going to be working on. I have a really long ratchet, which makes this a lot easier. Long ratchet with a deep socket, and I think it makes it easier to get to, but you can do this with a small ratchet too. It doesn't really matter. Now we're going to move to these outer ones. Now these can be actually accessed from underneath or from the top through the headlight, and I'm going to do one of each here. This one for some reason was easier to access from underneath, but the other one I was having some issues with, so I came from the top. But you could get them from the top if you wanted to. Now here I'm getting the other one from the top. And it broke pretty quick. Now we're doing bottoms and tops on each side. Now the bottom one's really easy to access because it's just right there. You can see it. It's kind of hard to tell in this shot because it's behind that frame, but it's very easily accessible. Now the top one you're gonna have to work a little harder for. You're gonna have to reach around that frame and just kind of keep messing with it till you get it. You can see I'm putting the socket on, then getting the ratchet on there. I did mess with this one for a while to get it off there. It wasn't as easy. But as you can see, it broke off too. And we're on the other side, doing the bottom one again. You can see it a little better on this side. Oh, it's really easily accessible. Now we're doing the top one. Once again, a little bit more of a fight, but it came out fairly easy. Now we're doing what's considered the two hardest ones on the bumper cover, because these are right behind the side marker lights. So that light indents, so you cannot get a deep socket on that. You can see it here. Actually, I have the light out on this shot, but you can see it here. That indentation is right in front of where that nut is, so you can't get a deep socket on it. So the only way you can access it is with possibly a ratchet wrench or regular wrench. I didn't show taking off this light, but it's just a 1/2 inch nut, 2 nuts, and you just twist the light out of the socket, and it just pops right out. Okay, I'm up there. I tried for a while on this one with a wrench. I tried with a ratchet wrench. I tried with a regular wrench. I could not get this one out. Just did not want to budge. So I finally gave up, and I used the procedure that most people want to use, and that is taking a Dremel and cutting a hole big enough to get a socket through and put on that nut. Now the idea is that you cut this here, and then you can, when you put the light on it covers it up. But you know, most people, including myself, if this was a good car, not a parts car, I'd be a little leery about wanting to cut this out because it just seems like a bad idea. But a lot of people claim this is the only way you can do it, but you'll find out that I didn't have to do it on the other side. But after trimming this for a while, I was able to get this deep socket in there, and then I was able to get this one off using this method. I was having some issues with my long ratchet. It was starting to give me problems. I had to use a different ratchet to finish this off. And as you can see, it broke off, as has most of the other ones. Now I'm on the other side. Now this side, I was able to get this ratchet wrench in there. I don't know why, I don't know how I got it on there. It wasn't very difficult. And I was able to get this one off without having to drill a hole. So I would suggest trying to do it with a regular wrench or a ratchet wrench before you resort to having to drill a hole, because I mean, who wants to drill a hole in the car if they don't have to? And as you can see, there it is, it's broken off. Now that's everything out. We can pull the bumper cover off. Bam, there it is. And as you can see, I stick the light in, it covers up that hole, so it does cover it up, but you know. Now here are all the pieces that we took off. You have that plate, license plate center with 6 screws. You have the retainers, which is 14 nuts all the way around the perimeter of the bumper cover. Plus you have the 6 screws that hold into the bumper cover off that valance, and then you have 8 more screws to take that valance completely off. Well, there it is, a how-to on how to take this front bumper cover off, and you really should soak those nuts and bolts with some WD-40 or Superzilla or something, because they will break. Those studs will break. I think I broke them all but 2 on this one. But it doesn't matter, you're going to want to replace that retainer bracket anyway. So if you break those studs, it's no big deal. Actually, you can get a new retainer bracket at my website at c3stingray.com if you want one. I have used a lot of other new Corvette parts there for your C3, C4, and C5 Corvette. And I also have a lot of used parts on my eBay store, so you can check that out too. Just go to the website and you can find all that stuff. But also on those side lights, everyone says, well, we got to drill the hole to get that nut out. As you can see on that side, on the driver's side, I had to drill the hole to get the nut off. But on this side, I didn't. I was able to get it off the ratchet wrench. So I would go in there with a ratchet wrench or a regular wrench and see if you can get that off without drilling the hole. I think drilling the hole is the last resort. No one wants to drill a hole in their car. But the light will cover that hole up, so it's not a really big deal. But still, the idea, why drill if you don't have to? I would try getting it off manually first without drilling any holes anywhere. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do. I have a lot of videos up and a lot more coming up. The C3 Corvette is my favorite generation. I love the look of it. I think it's so cool. But I also have a C5 Corvette that I put videos up on, and I've had several C4 Corvettes that I've also put videos up on. So be sure to check out the channel. I might be selling the C5 because I want to get some money up so I can finish that wide body 75 I have. So make sure you subscribe to the channel. And I also have a lot of stuff on games, Corvette games, Corvette movies, Corvette history of, and a lot of how-to videos. So subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. I'll quit talking now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the road.